So people now think that because he's promising money to the NHS, he's getting ready to campaign for a general election.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember that, the Brexit campaign in 2016, the NHS was a key part of that. Let's not send money to Europe, let's put it in the NHS instead. So in a way, this is Boris Johnson sort of making good on that pledge 3 years later, if you like. Certainly, there are lots of signs that he is gearing up for an election. Over the weekend, Conservatives have sort of stopped denying, if you like, that they're heading for an election. One of a key figure in the party said on Sunday that they wouldn't have an election of their own accord, suggesting that it would be more likely to come from a vote of no confidence, which we think the Labour Party is probably thinking about putting forward in early September. So one of the things that's one of the questions now is when that election might be. And over the weekend, you had some speculation that, Dominic Cummings was reported in the Telegraph saying that it's too late now to stop a no-deal Brexit.
So for our international audience, Dominic Cummings, I mean, when we saw basically the cabinet announcement and the people that surrounded Boris Johnson, and I heard this from the former chief of staff of George Osborne saying Dominic Cummings is probably the single most important person, because he was, of course, the one that successfully advocated for the UK to leave the EU, and now he's a special advisor. Is he the one that would get ready for the general election?
Well, certainly, I mean, what he was reported as saying over the weekend was that it was now too late to stop a no deal. And there is this idea kicking around that, the Prime Minister wouldn't necessarily have to call an election before October 31st, but it could possibly allow the UK to tumble out and then have an election afterwards. Obviously, a massive gamble. And, the question is whether, all through his leadership campaign, Boris Johnson was saying, if we just hold our nerve, and, I guess one has to weigh up whether this is just, showing the EU that they're serious, or whether they really would be prepared to follow through on this and let the UK crash out.